Just after getting married, my husband, this ultimate saintly big brother figure, took on the debt of 500,000 yuan from his gambler brother and secretly used my salary to pay it off. On New Year's Eve, he went out to give money to his brother, and a group of people came to the door to demand repayment. Looking menacing, pregnant, I was forced onto the balcony and accidentally fell off. Reborn on the wedding day, I publicly slapped him 3 times. Scumbag, I'll make you pay double for the suffering I endured. On New Year's Eve, Ryan made up an excuse and went out. I was watching the Spring Festival gala when a deafening knock on the door rang out. Before I could even go to see who it was, the door was smashed open and a group of people burst in. The man with a scar at the corner of his eye, who was leading the group, looked menacing. "We're here to collect debts. Where's your husband?" I was terribly frightened but tried to stay calm. "He's not here." "Who are you?" He sneered. "I'm Ryan's creditor. He owes me 1 million yuan and it's due today." "How could he possibly owe you 1 million yuan?" I was both confused and shocked. I had just helped Ryan pay back over 100,000 yuan not long ago. How could he owe another million? This fierce man looked at me mockingly. "Why are you asking so many questions? You're his wife. Well, just pay it back for him. If you don't, this house will be ours." I quickly called Ryan. "Ryan, where are you? Some people have come to collect debts. They want 1 million yuan. Where did you borrow so much money? Come back quickly." The man snatched my phone away and roared menacingly, "Ryan, didn't you say you'd help your brother pay back 1 million yuan? You've been delaying for half a year. Pay it back to me today." His brother. That gambler again. I felt a chill in my heart when I heard this. If I had known he was so brainless in helping his brother, I really shouldn't have married him in the first place. "Brother Zach, please give us a few more days. My wife and I both have proper jobs. We won't renege on the debt. We'll pay it back even if we have to go without food and drink." I was standing nearby and could clearly hear Ryan speaking. Why should I go without food and drink to fill this bottomless pit of his brother's? Cut the crap. Are you going to pay back the money today? If not, you can mortgage this house to me. Brother Zach suddenly looked at me and grinned. "And your wife, let me sleep with her for one night." I instinctively took a half step back and shouted into the phone, "Ryan, come back quickly. Call your brother over too and let him pay this money back." Ryan said, "How could that be? My brother has been unlucky enough. How could I let him pay this money? Ava, hold on at home for a while." Are you trying to renege on the debt? Come back quickly, or your wife will be mine tonight. You don't want to be cuckolded on New Year's Eve, do you?" I took the opportunity to snatch the phone back and ran desperately towards the balcony, closing the sliding door to keep these thugs out. "Stinky bitch, open the door for me." Brother Zach was furious and chased after me, kicking the door. I don't know how long this flimsy door could hold up. I was shivering on the balcony. Behind me was the freezing cold world, and the cold was seeping into my bones. "Stinky bitch, if you don't pay back the debt your husband owes, you want to see him die." Brother Zach and a few of his buddies were smashing the door and didn't forget to threaten me. I summoned up my courage and shouted back, "That's the debt his brother owed from gambling. You should ask his brother for the money, not make things difficult for me." Brother Zach took out an IOU and stuck it on the glass door for me to see. There was Ryan's signature on it, along with a bright red handprint. He sneered. "This is the IOU signed by your husband himself. There's evidence. Who else should we ask but you?" I shook my head vigorously and picked up my phone, looking at the call that hadn't been hung up yet. "Ryan, are you coming back or not? Do you know I'm pregnant?" The more I talked, the more I hated him. I wished I could tear Ryan's face apart. Why did I marry such a scumbag in the first place? "Sorry, Ava. I'm sorry. Hold on for a while longer. As soon as they leave, I'll come home right away." Ryan was an ultimate saintly big brother figure to his brother, but a top-quality selfish ghost to me. I was extremely disappointed in him. That Zach had even said he was going to bully me, and he was still so indifferent. What was the difference between this and pushing me into the fire pit? I hung up the phone and chose to call the police. However, as soon as I got through, they smashed the door open and rushed over. "Stinky bitch, how dare you call the police?" Brother Zach snatched the phone away and threw it heavily on the ground. Then he came over to grab me. I hurriedly backed away, staring nervously at his thieving hands, afraid of being caught. "It's so cold outside. Be careful not to get frostbite. Come inside with me to warm up. Are you being ungrateful? Believe it or not, I'll get rough with you." Brother Zach's burly body lunged at me. I screamed in fright. My back was pressed tightly against the balcony wall, and I was trying my best to back away, but unexpectedly, I lost my balance and fell outwards. I fell backwards in Brother Zach's lecherous and astonished gaze. 3 months pregnant, on the snowy and windy night of New Year's Eve, I was falling rapidly. In mid-air, looking at the happy lights in other houses, memories of Ryan and me flashed through my mind: dating, getting married, being in debt. I hated Ryan, and I also hated myself for being so love-struck. If there was a next life, I would never make the same mistake again. I was lying in the cold and wet snow, my whole body aching. I couldn't feel the presence of the baby, and my life was slipping away quickly. Ryan finally came back, and Brother Zach and those guys also rushed down. All I heard was Ryan saying, "Brother Zach, look at what happened to my wife. Can you let me and my brother off now?" Shouldn't he have called an ambulance for me first and called the police to arrest the people who killed me? He didn't even come over to see if I could still be saved. Brother, you're really something. Your wife is really unlucky to be with you. I'll wipe out 500,000 yuan of the debt for you. Her death has nothing to do with me at all. Brother Zach, who had killed me, wanted to clear his name by writing off 500,000 yuan of the debt. How could Ryan possibly agree? No, he actually meekly agreed. "Okay, 500,000 yuan it is." Ava accidentally fell from up there. It has nothing to do with Brother Zach at all. Ryan's voice was getting blurrier as my consciousness was fading. Finally, I felt nothing at all. I was dead. When I opened my eyes again, I was actually wearing a white wedding dress, and Ryan, who had killed me, was standing right in front of me. Was this a dream? Whether it was a dream or not didn't matter. I quickly raised my hand and slapped him. "What are you doing, Ava? Why did you hit me?" Ryan, dressed in his groom's suit, staggered from the slap I gave him. He stared at me with wide eyes, looking completely bewildered. I felt sick just looking at his face, so I slapped him again. His face swelled up immediately. "Ava, there are so many people watching. Let's talk about this when we get home. Give me some face." Ryan was getting a bit angry, and his tone was unfriendly. "He's angry? What right does he have to be angry? I'm already being kind by not stabbing this kind of man." I raised my hand again, and he quickly backed away. This was the night of my wedding to this loser. There were quite a few relatives and friends around us. They were looking at me in surprise. Obviously, my actions just now were completely different from my usual behavior. Everything in front of me seemed so real. It was as if I had been reborn. After that tragic death on that cold night, I was actually alive again and present at this wedding. Surprised as I was, I took a few steps forward and slapped Ryan again. He didn't notice this slap at all. I hit him with all my strength. He let out a cry of pain and fell straight to the ground, landing flat on his face. Serves him right. "Ava, do you still want to get married or not? If you do, behave yourself. If not, get out." Ryan's face was bleeding from the slaps. He jumped up angrily and threatened me menacingly. I sneered, "Fine, I don't want to get married anymore. Whoever wants to can go ahead." I started to walk away, but Ryan's gambler brother, Kane, showed up. He stopped me with a grin. "Sister-in-law, what are you talking about? It's a big day. There's no need to fall out over such a small thing. Ryan, come here and apologize to your wife quickly." The only reason he stopped me was to get me to marry Ryan so that I could help pay off his gambling debts. I remember it clearly from my past life. The day after Ryan and I got our marriage license, he brought me a promissory note for 500,000 yuan. I watched them perform without saying a word. The wedding? It's not that it can't happen, as long as I don't get the marriage license with Ryan. Not a single cent of that debt will fall on me. Ryan was very obedient to his brother Cain. He came over meekly to apologize to me in a humble tone. I didn't even look at him. Not sincere enough. Since I'm going to marry you, it shouldn't be a problem for you to kneel down and kowtow 3 times to me, right? His relatives and friends immediately started whispering among themselves. Some said I was rude and ill-mannered, while others said it was no wonder my relatives didn't come to my wedding. Having died once, I couldn't care less about their sarcastic remarks. As for why my parents and relatives didn't come to my wedding, it was all because I was so love-struck that I cut off ties with my parents just to be with Ryan. I was really stupid. Are you going to kneel or not? If not, I'm leaving, I urged. Ryan looked incredulous. Ava, how have you changed? You seem so strange now. You would never have made things difficult like this before. Before he could finish, Cain slapped the back of his head. Stop blabbing. Kneel down and kowtow to your sister-in-law quickly. Don't be so slow. My so-called boyfriend was like Cain's dog. Reluctantly, this dog knelt down in front of me. His good brother then pressed on his neck, making him kowtow heavily to me. There was a dull thud sound. After kowtowing 3 times, Ryan stood up, looking dizzy, with a bruised and swollen forehead. He looked as ugly as could be. I ignored him and numbly went through the wedding procedures with him. Back in the house that I bought with my 3-year savings and his, he looked at me with a complicated expression on his ugly face. Ava, what on earth is going on with you? Don't you want to marry me anymore? You're making me feel really cold. I was counting the wedding gifts we received today. It was only 80,000 yuan, but it was better than nothing. The gifts were all from his relatives. But I'm the bride. I should get half of the 80,000 yuan. As for the other half, it's what he owes me. Ava, can you hear me when I talk to you? Do you only have eyes for this money? Ryan was angry again. I reminded him emotionlessly, Ryan, my parents didn't ask you for any bride price, right? I paid 500,000 yuan for this house. If you don't care about money, at least give me the bride price. It's not much. I want 200,000 yuan. I held out my hand. He immediately wilted. He forced a smile with his ugly mouth. Honey, I'm sorry. Don't be angry. You cut off ties with your parents. Now we're the family. I'll definitely treat you wholeheartedly. Family, my ass. Who doesn't know how to say nice things? Ryan, are you going to give me the 200,000 yuan or not? If not, we're breaking up. I now think money is much cuter than Ryan. At least money won't screw me over to death. Ryan stared at me with wide eyes. I snorted coldly, dragged out my suitcase, and started packing my bags. Ava, let me think about it. 200,000 yuan is not a small amount, Ryan said to me in a gentle tone. I ignored him and continued packing, mainly focusing on those valuable items. I didn't want to leave any of them behind. Although Ryan hasn't screwed me over yet, he will sooner or later. This time, not only will I not let him do that, but I'll also get back what I deserve. I also want him, his gambler brother, and that brother Zach who killed me to go to hell. Because I asked for 200,000 yuan, Ryan went to discuss it with his brother Cain. My brother said he can give you 200,000 yuan. But Ava, can we save this money as our joint funds? We just got married, and we need money everywhere. Ryan said. No way. What's given to me is mine. If you really want to use it, you have to get my permission. Ryan, I paid 500,000 yuan for this house. Now you're not even willing to give me such a small amount of money when I ask for it? Are you even a man? I taunted him sarcastically. His face looked terrible. After a moment of silence, he called his brother again. Why didn't I notice how stupid he was before? I used to think he just had a good relationship with his brother. Now it seems it's more than that. He's almost like a son to his brother. As for his brother Cain, although he loves gambling, he's quite scheming. In my past life, all the gambling debts he owed were paid off by me and Ryan. He even had money to buy a Tesla. I'll transfer the 200,000 yuan to you right away. Ava, shall we go get the marriage license tomorrow? Ryan agreed to give me the money, but he wanted to get the marriage license with me. Goodness gracious. Last time we got married, we didn't get the license until more than 10 days later. Now, because of this 200,000 yuan, he wants to get it earlier. Once we get the license, his brother's gambling debts will come knocking on the door. I forced a smile. Sure, let's get it tomorrow. But I have to work in the morning. Can we go in the afternoon? As a result, after I received the 20,000 yuan, I didn't go get the license with him. The next afternoon, when he called, I was having afternoon tea in a hotel in the city. Since I got married to him, I had practically become a workhorse, only knowing how to earn money to pay off debts. I didn't even know what afternoon tea was. Ava? Where are you? Didn't we agree to get the marriage license? I've been waiting at the Civil Affairs Bureau for half a day already. Ryan was barking on the phone. I'm not mentally prepared yet. Getting the marriage license is such a big thing. I want to think it over a bit more. You don't want to push me too hard, do you? I pretended to be pitiful without blushing or my heart racing. We're already married. What are you afraid of about getting the license? Don't you have your household registration booklet in your hand? Getting the license only takes a few minutes. Ava, where are you now? If you come over now, there's still a chance. They haven't closed yet. Ryan said. Ryan, I'm so scared right now. What if I married the wrong person? Ryan, will you really treat me wholeheartedly? I heard that some stupid men treat their wives like clothes. They can change or discard them whenever they want. But they value brotherhood so much that they do anything for their brothers. Ryan, you're not like that, are you? I asked even though I knew the answer. The reason I was wasting so many words on him was that I had no intention of getting the license with him at all, not that I still had any illusions about him. Unexpectedly, my words hit a nerve. Ava, what are you talking about? What's wrong with valuing brotherhood? My parents died early. My brother and I depended on each other. He took care of me for so many years. He's almost like my parents. Realizing he had said too much, he quickly comforted me again. Ava, don't worry. I'm definitely not what you think. We're a family now. You're my family. How could a family member be replaced so easily? I'll also treat you with all my heart. If your brother and I can't swim and we both fall into the water, who will you save first? I threw out this classic question, not for any particular purpose, just for fun. Ryan actually started become entangled on the other end. After struggle for a while, he even gave an answer, I'll save my brother first. He was bitten by a dog once when he was saving me. His legs and feet aren't very good. I'll save him first, and then I'll live or die with you. I was left with a confused look on my face after hearing that. What the heck? Do you still want to get the marriage license with me? I asked coldly. Yes. Ava, the Civil Affairs Bureau is still open. Come over quickly. Ryan quickly replied that I said calmly, I'm not in the mood this week. Maybe next week. On the wedding day, I was too lazy to even come up with an excuse. I made Ryan sleep on the couch. After being screwed over so badly by him in my past life, I feel sick just looking at him now, let alone sharing the same bed with him. Now it's better. I'm staying in a hotel directly, and I don't have to face his ugly face. I haven't contacted my parents during this period. I feel really sorry for them. But I want to handle the things here first before going to see them. Ryan has been calling to ask where I am, why I didn't get the license with him after taking the money, and if I'm just playing with him. I'm already married to you. What more do you want from me? We've known each other for 3 years. Could it be that I'm going to cheat you? I'm just scared of getting the marriage license. Can't I think it over a bit for such an important thing? Ryan, don't you have even a little patience with me? I was touching the real estate certificate of the house while calmly reasoning with him. Then where are you exactly? You didn't go back to your hometown, did you? Didn't you say you'd never have anything to do with your parents again? Ryan pressed on. Goodness gracious. I'm my parents' biological daughter. Just because I said I'd never have anything to do with them again doesn't mean it's really going to be that way. Are you an orphan and you want me to be one too? Don't bring up my parents. I just want to be alone and relax. After saying that, I hung up the phone directly. However, a few days later, Ryan called again. He asked angrily on the phone, "Ava, did you take the real estate certificate? What on earth do you want to do? Are you trying to embezzle my property?" He finally noticed. But I was very calm. "I paid 500,000 yuan for this house. How is it embezzling your property if I take the real estate certificate?" Ryan's tone softened immediately. "That's not what I meant. My brother has something to do now. I need to use the real estate certificate as collateral. Bring the certificate over quickly. It won't be good if it delays my brother's matter." "What does my real estate certificate have to do with your brother?" I asked deliberately. "What are you talking about? We're already married. My brother is your brother too. If he has something to do, shouldn't we help him?" "Ava, don't be silly. Bring the certificate back quickly. Don't act like a child." Ryan was trying to reason with me in a gentle tone. "It's not that I won't give you the real estate certificate. Transfer 500,000 yuan to me. Not to mention the certificate, the whole house will be yours. By then, don't even say using the certificate as collateral. Even if you give the house to your brother, I won't say a word. What do you think?" I was asking for an exorbitant amount. I thought Ryan would scold me harshly. Unexpectedly, his way of thinking was different from what I expected. 500,000 yuan is too much. How about 300,000 yuan? Also, if we give the house to him, we'll have no house left. "Ava, would you still be willing to get the marriage license with me?" he asked. "Do you really think I'd still get the marriage license with you after all this? What a pipe dream. But I could still say some nice words." "Sure, why not? Even if you have nothing, I won't look down on you. After 3 years of dating, I can't break away from you. So, do you want to exchange the certificate back with 500,000 yuan?" I still wanted 500,000 yuan. Her pleading voice came through the phone. "Mom, I'm really in so much pain. If I stay here any longer, I'll die. Why haven't you come to save me yet? Dad, brother, where are you?"